Welcome everyone to the October 21st meeting of the Southeast Mass Metropolitan Planning Organization. Lisa, please call the roll.
Okay. Interim Massachusetts Secretary of Transportation Chair.
Derek Schuster, representing Interim Secretary and CEO of MassDOT, Phil Eng, here.
Mayor Brattleboro.
Here, Kathleen DeSimone.
Mayor Fall River.
Dan Aguirre on behalf of Mayor Paul Coogan.
Mayor of New Bedford.
Jamie Pont, representing Mayor John Mitchell.
Mayor of Taunton. Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division Administrator. Mansfield.
Yep, Mansfield's here.
Thank you. Fairhaven. Carver.
Carver's here.
Thank you. Berkeley. SRPEDD Commission Chair. SRTA.
SRT is here.
Thank you. GATRA.
Here.
Thank you. Are there any ex officio non-voting members present? Federal Highway Division Administrator. Federal.
Hi, Lisa, it's Bob. I wasn't sure if Diane was present or not, but if she is not, I will represent the Administrator Gulliver.
Okay, great. Thank you,
Thank
Barbara.
you.
FTA Deputy Regional Administrator.
Yeah,
And
not seeing either on the call.
Thanks, Derek. And we know that our Joint Transportation Planning Group Chair is unable to attend. Did I miss anyone during the roll call?
I might have been muted, but I'm representing Berkeley today, Lisa.
Thank you, Matt. Gotcha. Okay, Derek, we are good.
All right, thank you. Next item on today's agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 16th MPO meeting. Could I please have a motion and second to approve the minutes?
So moved, New Bedford.
Second, Fall River.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any comments, revisions, or changes to the minutes as presented? All right, Lisa, please call the roll.
Secretary of Transportation Chair, or Derek?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
One.
Attleboro.
Approved, that's the form.
Thank you. Fall River.
Yes.
New Bedford.
Yes.
Highway Division Administrator, Barbara.
Hi, yes, and I do believe that Diane is present also. So,
Okay.
so yes.
Thank you. Mansfield.
Yes.
Carver.
Yes.
Berkeley.
Yes.
SRTA.
Yes.
And GATRA.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes.
All right. Next item on the agenda is public comments. There's an opportunity now for any members of the public wishing to make comment. Please use the raise hand feature. Seeing none, if during today's MPO meeting, any members from the public that are present and wish to make comment, just use the raise hand feature and please wait to be called on by the chair. Next item is RTA updates. Do we have GATRA on the call?
Yes. So
Go ahead, Stacey.
the Gateway Link, which we started operation of in the beginning of August, has been steadily increased ridership, and we have seen about 2,266 riders in the last 2 months. And that's a service that's connecting Fall River, Taunton, and Brockton, and then they were able to connect out from those hubs. So that has been really good. GATRA experienced a 2-day strike at the end of September, but we have come to an agreement with the union, And once it's signed, it'll allow for more service in the future, including Sundays and more holiday service. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Gatra? All right, thank you for that update and congrats on the Gateway Link service. Updates from SRTA, Christina?
Hi, yes, I have a few updates today. We continue to see an increase in our ridership since we implemented the expanded micro-connector zones and the service spans. In fact, we hit a record for ridership last week. We had 127 requests, which is the most we've had so far, so it's very exciting. Our ridership continues to grow also with our fare-free service as well. We continue our efforts to work on developing our CRTP with MassDOT, and we're also we have a few other planning efforts underway, including an update to our public-facing schedules. We're working on updating the Fall River Tripper route schedules to make them a little more user-friendly, and we're going to be starting our fiscal year 25 ridership report soon. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Christina. Any questions for SRTA? I'm not seeing any. Thank you both for those updates. Next item is a draft regional evacuation route plan discussion. I believe this is Jackie.
Thank you, Derek. So our draft evacuation route study went out for a public comment period at the last MPO meeting. During that public comment period, we had 2 public meetings that were pretty well attended. We had a good assortment of people come and talk about the study. The comments were mostly focused on next steps, which kind of lends itself well to some items that we've put in our work program this year. We've had a lot of interest in our tabletop exercises, which are kind of taking what we put in the study and testing it in different scenarios. And then also people have a lot of concerns about, like, if there's an evacuation, will the word actually get out to the people that need it? So we do have some work in our work program this year that kind of expands upon the recommendations in our study. But that was mainly what the comments were centered around. We did make some minor changes to the document. It's mostly formatting. We updated the draft formatting to more final InDesign type formatting. And then we also did some word editing. It's more for clarity. It didn't really change any content. It was more, we're trying to use plain language wherever we can instead of technical terms. So those kind of updates. So we do have a final version, and I do just want to remind the group that when you vote on this, you are also voting on the evacuation routes themselves. I'm going to put them up on a screen for a second, but I did show them at the last meeting. We did talk about them at the public meetings, but here are what we have proposed for evacuation route meetings. We've actually met with people at MassDOT to talk about getting this information into their databases too, so that everyone's on the same page about what these changes are. But the red routes on the screen are the primary routes. The orange, yellow color are the secondary routes, and the green routes are the tertiary routes. What that means is the majority of the traffic will be on the red routes, and then people will use the orange and the green to get to the red routes, mostly. And that's where we kind of focused our efforts on recommending improvements. If anybody has any questions about the study, I'm happy to answer them, but we are looking for endorsement of this today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Are there any questions for Jackie or staff on the evacuation route study and the routes themselves? All right. Could I please have a motion and second to endorse the regional evacuation route plan and routes themselves?
Motion made, Fall River.
Seconded, Mansfield.
Thank you. We have a motion and second. Lisa, please call the roll.
Chair,
Yes, and congrats.
Attleboro,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
MassDOT Highway Administrator,
Yes.
Mansfield,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Serpent Commission Chair,
Yes.
SRTA,
Yes.
and Gatra.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you, Lisa, and congrats again, Southeast Mass. This does actually broaden the funding eligibility for roadways, or the pool of funds you can draw from when you have these evacuation routes codified. So it's exciting. Next item is draft Southeast Mass MPO public participation plan update. Lisa?
Okay. Thank you. So just real quick. Okay. So as you can see here, I am not Andrea Duas-Comps. Unfortunately, Andrea couldn't make it today, but I will be presenting to you the public participation plan draft 2025 update. Next slide, please. So yeah, there you go. So starting off, I just want to remind the members of the plan's purpose. So the public participation plan provides guidance for the SMMPO staff to conduct public outreach and engagement activities during the development of our plans, projects, and our services. It's updated as needed. There is no rigid schedule. The ultimate goal of the plan is to allow every person in the region ample opportunity to become active participants in what we call the 3C process. So continuous, cooperative, and comprehensive metropolitan planning and decision-making process. And this guides the SMMPO work towards building a regional transportation system that meets the needs of all our residents and stakeholders. This particular update has been informed by recent policy changes, federal certification requirements, and insights from public engagement that's been conducted since the last plan update, including tabling at community events and connecting with community partners. This slide demonstrates some of the updates that were made. Oh, you went ahead, Jackie. Can you move back? Thank you. Some of the updates that were made to the plan, a lot of additions. There are changes to our virtual meeting procedures, also clarification on a public participation process for our work products. And then finally, we kind of wanted to hone in on that the plan went under major reformatting, restructuring, and reorganization to make it easier to read and to use for staff, our community partners, and the general public that want to inquire and learn more about our work. We've also added more graphics and visual aids. We found these are super helpful in explaining the process. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in this update, we've added public outreach and engagement goals, our principles, and evaluation metrics. So starting with our goals, if any of you have an engineering background, there are the 5 E's. Well, we're looking at the 4 E's. And we're going to start off with educating. So we want to effectively inform the public and all relevant stakeholders about transportation-related conditions, issues, projects, programs, or services relating to the region's metropolitan transportation planning process. We want to embolden public officials and relevant stakeholders to voice concerns about transportation needs and priorities to the SMMPO, local and state decision makers as well. We want to encourage local officials and decision makers to initiate and develop projects that respond to public concerns and priorities, especially publicly identified major needs that are documented in the Metropolitan Transportation Planning documents. And then we're going to evaluate, listen, and incorporate. We're going to evaluate public comments received, incorporate them into the Metropolitan Transportation Planning documents and projects, and evaluate how the input received impacted final plans, project lists, services, and decisions. Our public participation principles are to promote respect, provide proactive and timely opportunities for involvement, offer authentic and meaningful participation, provide a clear, focused, and predictable process, foster participation from populations of various life experiences, be responsive to participants, record, share, and respond to public comments, and self-evaluate and plan future updates. So with this update, we are including public engagement evaluation metrics to assist us in assessing the quality and effectiveness of our public engagement work by tracking progress in these different areas. And this will help staff to determine what's working well, what needs tweaking, and where we should prioritize improvement and staff time. So I'll quickly go over those metrics and just give a few examples. So for visibility, we will be noting the number of participants in publications and planning documents produced and available online, the number of announcements distributed to and shared by community partners. For participation opportunities, we're going to be looking at the number and location of public meetings held either virtually or in person, number of focus groups held, as well as number of surveys and interactive map activities that are launched. For public interest and feedback, we're going to be looking at the number of people engaged at local events, number of people engaged when we go out and do canvassing, as well as the number of comments received and the number of social media interactions. And I'm going to make a quick plug here for those of you that do not follow us on social media. We've launched a Transportation Tuesday social media campaign where every Tuesday we are posting about transportation issues. So go ahead and follow us if you haven't yet. Next slide, please. So in the response to public input, we will be tracking recommendations made in responsible to comments received, as well as board actions as a response to input received. And then for accessibility and inclusion, the number of meetings held and events attended in under-resourced and Title VI communities, as well as number of meetings held along transit routes and virtual, and the attendees from under-resourced communities. So the alternative meeting notice process has been detailed in our update. And for new members, I will just quickly go over what's kind of transpired in the last year. So the SMMPO, SRPEDD Commission, and all of their standing committees adopted in December of 2024 with approval from Massachusetts Office of the Attorney General that the SRPEDD website would be the official posting location for all meeting notices. And although we are no longer required by open meeting law to submit these notices to our communities, we are still doing so. We're trying to encourage, a greater distribution of this information via their, social media platforms or just posting at town hall. So with the adoption of this alternative posting location, municipalities are now required by open meeting law to post just the notice of the meeting posting location that was sent to clerks by SRPEDD's executive director in the manner that the municipality ordinarily posts its own meeting notices. And then our new process for virtual meeting procedures with our Zoom webinar platform is also documented in the draft. So in order to prevent, future Zoom disruptions and security incidents, we have now adopted Zoom webinar. Voting members of the JTPG and the MPO and other officials receive individualized links, allowing them to be panelists. So they can be visible via video, as well as they have audio capabilities. And then if anyone else that is joining needs to register, and they will be categorized as an attendee and also can have an opportunity to speak once they are unmuted by the host. And then finally, artificial intelligent bots are prohibited from joining Zoom meetings of the JTPG and the MPO. So to provide further clarity and predictability on how the Metropolitan Regional Transportation Planning process works, we've added detailed public participation steps for each MPO work product. So as you see here on the right, that is the chip development, public and approved process in those 6 steps. There's also an additional visual in the document that you can refer to. We've also added a chart that lists all of our work products, the purpose of each, the frequency at which they are updated, public comment period, and how the public can participate. So for example, as you see here in the table on the left, the regional transportation plan, that's updated every 4 to 5 years, minimum 21-day comment period. The purpose of the plan is to project into the future for transportation needs, and the public can participate by providing input on unmet needs and issues that they may have. And then we've included a menu of outreach and engagement methods and explanation of how we use them and their advantages. So our outreach methods are how we share our information. For example, on events and opportunities that offer the public, the opportunity to provide input. We do so by advertising via our website, social media posts, and with our community partners. Our engagement methods are how we are communicating with the public on transportation issues. We do this by participating in focus groups, talking with attendees at events, as well as hosting public meetings. So both of these steps help inform our transportation staff about the needs and priorities so that we can incorporate them and address them in our plans and studies as part of our recommendations, technical assistance activities, and planning work with communities on initiating and developing projects. And then our next step, we are asking that the MPO take a vote today to release the draft to a 45-day comment period. In doing so, we will then host a public meeting and follow up with this group in December for endorsement of the document. In the meantime, ways to provide comments on the plan, please feel free to reach out to Andrea, myself, anyone in the transportation department. We also have a form on the SRPEDD website where comments can be provided, and we will add the link to the document and the form in this chat so that you can have access to that.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Before we officially open the comment period, I just wanted to know, comprehensive as always for Andrea and you. So thank you. Any questions from the board before we take a motion to release this for 45-day public review and comment?
May I make a comment?
Yes.
I just wanted to say that, and you can hear this is my teacher voice. When you used alliteration on more than one of the slides, that's a great technique to use. I can tell you from my own experience using that, people remember those high points much better than if they're not alliterated. So good for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comment, Marie. Any other comments or questions about the plan before we take a motion and second to release for public review? Seeing and hearing none, could I please have a motion and second to release the public participation plan update for 45-day public comment?
So made.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Lisa, please call the roll.
Chair,
Yes.
Attleboro,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
Massachusetts Highway Administrator,
Yes.
Mansfield,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
SRPEDD Commission Chair,
Yes.
SRTA,
Yes.
and Gatcham.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you very
Passes.
much. The next item, I believe, is the draft Southeast Mass MPO Language Assistance Plan update. Is this Jen? She's on mute.
Yeah, I think she's trying to get her screen to share.
Sorry,
Got it.
I
No.
didn't realize I was on mute. Thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
just get this ready.
Take your time.
Thank you. Oh, this is not presenting full screen. There we go. Can everybody see that?
We can. Take it away.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Derek. Jen Schaus presenting the Language Assistance Plan update. That was last updated in 2022. Let's see here. Okay, so what is the purpose of this plan? This plan is to ensure that individuals with LEP have equal access to participate in the programs, activities, and services that we offer. Known as safe harbor languages, we are required to provide translation of vital materials if a language group makes up 5% or 1,000 individuals, whichever is less. The plan needs the access language needs of individuals with LEP. The LAP evaluates 4 factors. So it's called a 4-factor analysis, and it's the bulk of this plan. This 4-factor analysis is a tool to help us determine the extent persons with LEP come into contact with our programs and how we can best provide language assistance services needed to ensure meaningful access to our programs and services. Factor 1, we first have to determine the number and proportion of LEP individuals in our region. Now, previous LEPs that we have completed only used ACS data. Now, since 2016, the census grouped some languages into larger language families. So most notably in our region, Portuguese is not an individual language anymore. So it is now grouped in other Indo-European languages. So to address this, we use additional sources such as the public use microdata sample, which is also known as PUMS, which is also census data, and we are using data from the Department of Education. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'm going to give a brief overview of our data. Anybody has any questions or wants to touch base later with anything, just please reach out. So for ACS data, we use 2 tables. Table C16001, and that's a table that provides geographic area of census tracts, uses population age 5+, and it provides 12 languages or language groups. The second table is C16002 with a geography of census blocks, so it's a smaller area. The universe is households, so it's not individual people, but households, but only provides 4 languages. The top languages you can see here are other Indo-European languages, Spanish, French, Haitian, or Cajun, and other Asian and Pacific Island languages. Now, to determine what could be in those bigger language families of other Indo-European and other Asian and Pacific Island is when we turn to the PUMS and Department of Education data. The PUMS data is based on the same table B16001, that's with population age 5+. But as you can see from the map, the geography is much larger. So it also includes Plymouth and then a bunch of towns in Norfolk County that are not part of SRPEDD. So although it's a larger area, so we do take that into account, but it does provide 47 languages. So the larger geographic area you get, the more individual languages you can see. So top languages here were Portuguese, Spanish, Haitian, Chinese, and Vietnamese. And then our last data source was the Department of Education. They collect data yearly from all school districts, including regional school districts such as Voc Tech schools. They define an English language learner as a student whose first language is a language other than English and who is unable to perform ordinary classwork in English. So the top 3 languages here were Spanish, Portuguese, and Creole. So across all data sources, it's evident that Spanish is a prominent language among all data sources. And then because of using the Department of Education and PUMS data, we can determine that Portuguese and Creole, whether it's Haitian, French, or Cajun, are also top languages in our area. That being said, we do still recognize the existence and importance of other languages, such as Chinese and Vietnamese. So when we do plan our outreach materials or public meetings, we do further research. We don't just go based on this data. We do look at what area are we in, what languages are spoken just in that specific area. We reach out to our constituents and others that can assist us on specific languages. So we use this as a base, but we do look beyond this. And by taking a holistic approach, by considering the various data sources, it provides a more comprehensive understanding of the region's LEP languages. Okay, so moving on through the factors. Again, it's a 4-factor analysis. So factor 2 addresses the frequency of contact with LEP individuals. Contact with these individuals most frequently happen during local public events and MPO hosted events and public meetings. We also maintain regular contact with social service organizations and advocates throughout our region. Factor 3 addresses the importance of our programs, activities, and services. Every effort is made to ensure that the public understands the planning process, and we consistently provide opportunities for community members to share their feedback and perspectives. Public engagement is always conducted for our main documents and for specific planning efforts. And factor 4 addresses the resources available. So we have allocated funding to support translation and interpreter services. All efforts are made to accommodate any language assistance request received, regardless whether it's one of our safe harbor languages or not. And how do we provide language assistance? So there's a lot listed here. I just highlighted a few. We do, again, we're required to translate our vital documents into the safe harbor languages. We provide interpreter requests, interpreter services upon request. We do have a robust staff here with various fluent in various languages. So although we don't get official requests for an interpreter, oftentimes we encounter when we're at a public meeting, we do speak to individuals in the native language, even though it's not a formal request. But that does happen often. So our outreach material surveys, those are always translated into our safe harbor languages. We do have a contract with a language line. So if we get a phone call, it's a service that provides on-demand phone interpreter services in over 170 languages. And our SRPEDD website, of course, has the integrated Google Translate feature. Monitoring and updating the LAP. We're continually seeking out any new data sources that could help us with languages in our region. We review the census language about every couple years. The Department of Education language, we are reviewing that yearly since they collect that yearly. And this plan is an integral part of the Title VI program, so we update it accordingly. If there's any, major changes with languages, this will be updated. There's no timeline. So, and then similar to the PPP plan, we are asking the MPO for a vote to release this draft to a 45-day public comment period. And if anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Jen. I just have a question. What's the relationship, if any, between the language assistance plan update and the public participation plan update?
Yes, so we try to do it in coordination with each other. That's why they're coming out together.
Okay.
But again, sometimes one might have an update. Like if there was a major change in languages, then we would update this plan and the PPP might not have an update.
Okay. I think that was my only question. Did anyone else from the board have questions about the language assistance plan?
Derek, we do have an attendee that has their hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Hi. So I just stepped in here late to the meeting. I do know what SPREDD is. I'm from Rehoboth. This is specifically for Rehoboth, correct?
No, this plan you mean, or this meeting?
This meeting, I didn't know if it was on our agenda lists for the week. So I was going through it because we are part of the commuter rail community.
Yes,
And so that's
I'll let
being-
you explain what the MPO meetings are.
Yeah, so Laura, this is the meeting of the Southeast Mass MPO, the Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Right.
I think you might be attending the wrong meeting. We're talking about I don't know if Lisa would like to put the agenda up, but I don't believe we're talking about anything specifically Rehoboth related during today's meeting.
Well, it's part of urban sprawl. So it does affect us in some way or another because Rehoboth is experiencing similar to what Cape Cod is experiencing in terms of gentrification issues. So I posted some of the research and the work that I've been doing, but we are struggling because we are a rural to suburban community with an agricultural base. So it does come into play because we are affected by urban sprawl and just whatever the state imposes upon us. So I guess I left you pointers or basically the stressors that my community is experiencing due to imposition.
Are you speaking to the questions that you typed in the question and answer
Yeah, you
field
can
for the
just
chat? Sorry.
just walk away with those knowing that because of Proposition 2.5, because of the way that our community is structured, because we are well-based community, and because we want to keep our rural identity, a lot of these impositions cause us great stressors. And because of gentrification, we are experiencing job loss, lack of thriving with some of our local populations, substance abuse, and just crime, which is coming in from the cities where we seem to be taken advantage of quite a bit. And it's a pretty lengthy, it's been happening for quite some time now, and it's not good. And the biggest concern, I think, for Rehoboth is the degradation of our environment. So we want to protect our water sources, but people seem to take advantage of the fact that they can come in and develop and then leave. So there should be some sort of ethical law or vetting, because when you go onto our planning board or zoning board, we lack the not the legal strength, but just zoning can be very difficult and crime can be very difficult. And when you're coming up against outside investors, it's not even just whack-a-mole. It's like there's no consistency, there's no protection for local people, and I don't think impact fees are something that we can like distribute in a way that is good and fair. So I can just speak for ourselves being coming back here, Swamp Yankee to education. It's just making our community very sick. So we would like to stay rural. We would like to stay farming. We would like to protect our identity. It's the impositions, and it's also just people taking advantage of it. And I guess the one book that I try to recommend, just like they recommend in pre-med that people read about medical ethicism, two books that I wanted to recommend because I think reading really helps people is John Steinbeck's The Pearl, and then Ira Gaberta-Menchu, because when you're dealing with farmers and you're dealing with, we're not stupid by any means, but I think that it's the snake oil salesman situation that really, we don't see it at first, but later on down the line can be a serious problem for our local people.
All right, Laura, thank you for your comments. I think that just again, this is a meeting of the Southeastern Massachusetts Metropolitan Planning Organization. This is a decision-making body regarding surface transportation investment of federal funds for surface transportation.
It's trickle-down economics, though, so it's just important to insert.
Yep, Yeah,
I
so
can, Derek,
go ahead,
let me
Lisa.
interject real quick. I was just gonna say that I think this issue is broader than this body, so we will bring this back to our comprehensive planning department.
Okay.
And I would encourage you to reach out to them, connect with me, and I can get you to the right source to have that discussion. I think, there's other, the other department would be more appropriate to help answer maybe some questions you may have or to listen, if that makes sense.
It's just earmarking, urban sprawl, and crime management.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for your comment, Laura.
Yeah, goodbye.
Any other questions or comments on the language assistance plan update as presented by Jen? All right, seeing and hearing none, could I please have a motion and second to release the language assistance plan update for 45-day public comment?
So made.
Second, Fall River.
Thank you. Lisa, please call the roll.
Chair,
Yes.
Attleboro,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
Master Highway Administrator,
Yes.
Mansfield,
Yes.
Carver, Berkeley,
Yes.
Serpent Commission Chair,
Yes.
SRTA,
Yes.
Gatra.
Yes.
One more time, Carver. I'm not sure if Sarah is still here.
Sorry, yes.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry about that, I was muted.
No worries. That motion passes.
All right, thank you. And great presentation, Jen. And as someone who's dealt with decennial census and ACS data in the past, I know what a pain it is when the data set changes criteria on you. So good pivot. All right. I believe next we are on to the federal fiscal year 2026 to 2030 TIP proposed adjustment number 1. Is this Lisa?
This is.
Go ahead.
So as part of your packet, you received, this is a handout. You've actually received a revised handout as well because a couple of numbers changed a little bit. But this is for the federal fiscal year 26 to 30 TIP. This particular change is in federal fiscal year 2026. It is for 2 projects. The first one being project 607871, which is Dartmouth corridor improvements on Route 6 from Faunce Corner Road to Hathaway Road. This project is currently programmed with regional target funds at approximately 11 million. The current funding distribution is shown in the comments section. And the proposal is to fund a part of the project at approximately 3.6 million with 2 discretionary earmarks. So that will actually open up more regional target funds if there are any projects that are small and can get ready in time. So you see the earmarks programmed under section 1B on this handout. In addition to the changes for the funding categories for this project, we have the addition of the New Bedford SS4A 2 demonstration projects earmarked discretionary grant that was previously programmed in 2025, was not able to advertise in that time frame, so is now being moved into federal fiscal year 26. So with that, be happy to try and answer any questions. I know New Bedford's also on the line if there are any questions, but we are asking this body to make a motion to approve this adjustment.
Thank you, Lisa. Are there any questions from the board? All right, seeing and hearing none, can I please have a motion and second to endorse TIP adjustment number 1 as presented?
So made.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, Fall River.
Thank you. Lisa, please call the roll.
Chair,
Yes.
Attleboro,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
Master Highway Administrator,
Yes.
Mansfield,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Yes.
Serpent Commission Chair,
Yes.
SRTA,
Yes.
GATRA.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you. And next, I believe we have tip amendment number 1, proposed to tip amendment number 1.
Correct. So this handout was also distributed prior to the meeting. This is for federal fiscal year 26 to 30 tip as well. But there are changes in federal fiscal year 26 and federal fiscal year 28 that are being presented here today. So the first change would be the addition of a flex to FTA Mansfield to Logan shuttle bus. This is the blue Apple bus service that goes to the airport. This is year 4. So the amendment would be to include the funding in federal fiscal year 26. In federal fiscal year 28, there is a cost increase to project 610798. That is New Bedford intersection improvements at Mount Pleasant Street and Nash Road. There is also funding category change for this project. So it's currently programmed with regional target funds, but there is now an earmark that will pick up approximately 1.2 million of the cost share of the project. So we are asking this body to take a vote today to release to a minimum 21-day comment period.
Thank you, Lisa. Are there any questions for Lisa about the amendment as presented?
No. So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion to release the proposed amendment number 1 as presented by Sarah. Thank you.
Second, Fall River.
Thank you. When you're ready, Lisa, please call the roll.
Chair,
Yes.
Attleboro,
Yes.
Fall River,
Yes.
New Bedford,
Yes.
MassDOT Highway Administrator,
Yes.
Mansfield,
Yes.
Carver,
Yes.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Serpent Commission Chair,
Yes.
SRTA,
Yes.
and GATRA.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries.
All right, thank you. I believe we are on to other business. Before I send it to Lisa for other business, I just wanted to note for communities on the call, if you have received any discretionary grants like SS4A, for example, that require tip programming in advance of obligating and spending the funds as part of your contracts. One of the reasons we had the tip adjustment earlier for SS4A, for example, is because it was programmed in a previous tip, but not the current tip. And tip programming is, of course, a requirement for any federal aid investment. So if there are changes throughout the year and you receive a grant, or if you unfortunately have a grant rescinded and have to flip to identify another funding source, please just communicate that as soon as possible to Southeast Mass MPO staff so they can coordinate with MassDOT on making sure it's all programmed correctly. Just wanted to share that. We are in a new federal fiscal year and operating off of the 26 to 30 program, as you've seen. Thank you. Go ahead, Lisa.
I just have one announcement. There will be a design public hearing for Mattapoisett corridor improvements on Main, Water, Beacon, and Marion Road at Old Rochester Regional High School on December 4th at 6:30 p.m. If anyone needs any additional information, please reach out. We'd be more than happy to connect you to that. And that's all I have, Derek.
Thank you. Does anyone from the board have any other business announcements, events they want to share? I'll just do a quick plug for MassDOT's Moving Together conference that we're co-hosting with UMass Transportation Center next Tuesday at the Sheraton Boston. I hope we see some representation from the Southeast Mass region at that event. I know it's a popular one for the planning community each year.
Is there still room, Derek, or is it sold out?
I do believe it's actually at capacity at this point, but there will be the innovation conference in the spring, so keep your eyes peeled for that event as well.
Thanks.
All right, the date and time of our next meeting is 1 p.m. on Tuesday, November 18th. If there's no other business, could I please have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting?
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right, I heard two people. I was worried you guys wanted to keep staying on the call. With that objection, we are adjourned. Everyone have an excellent rest of your day.